Hello everybody, welcome back to Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. So, welcome to the intermission episode, as I've decided I'm going to call it. Before we move back on over to Dorter, our favorite city, we're at the Orban Monastery. We just saw a ton of stuff happen last time, and this time we're going to read the scriptures of Germanique. So, before we do any of that, let's just go over to reading materials, and we've got them here.
Are the product of much sweat and toil.
That's true. A historical account of Saint Ajora's life recorded by his disciple Germanique. Its very existence has long been denied. So it's going to be a bit of this is mostly what we're doing this episode, I think, because it's kind of a hefty read. I mean, it's like more Rams's reaction to reading it, but I think it's important to go through. If you appreciate the story, this sheds a lot of light as to the story going forward. Not entirely, but I have the church plot line. I think this is important. So we're going to go ahead and read it, and I just think it's interesting. So here we go. The Scriptures of Germanique. I opened the Scriptures of Germanique, entrusted to me by Elder Simon, and began to leaf through the pages. The words before my eyes were writ in a holy script of the ancients, far beyond my ken. Several illustrations were scattered throughout, but many pages were missing or damaged, and the script was exceedingly difficult to decipher. As I turned the pages, faintly penned words in modern Evolution script occasionally caught my eye. Notes of an explanatory nature had been added here and there throughout the book, all written in the same hand, though exactly whose I could not say. A faint scent of ink rose from these notes, and as I touched my finger to one of them, the writing smeared. It seems to have been penned only in the last few days. I then realized that these transcriptions were most likely Elder Simon's work. He must have devoted a significant portion of his life as custodian of the underground library to deciphering these scriptures, line by painstaking line. I relied heavily on fragmentary notes as I continued his reading. Apparently, the Holy Script had been recorded by Germanique, but who was that? The name struck a familiar chord as half-forgotten history lessons rose unbidden in my mind. And then I remembered. Germanique was a disciple of Saint Ajora who betrayed his master, turning him over to the Holy Adoran Empire, and in so doing, ensured his name would live on in infamy. I was astounded that a librum penned by the same Germanique from my history lessons now rested in my very hands. Saint Ajora was a child of the gods, descended from the heavens to deliver humanity from its self-inflicted chaos. By his prophecies was the word of the divine imparted upon mortal men. After his death, these teachings formed the basis of the Church of Glabados, its name meaning to obey God, in the holy tongue of the ancients. The church's influence later spread throughout Ivalice and further afield to Ordalia, Romanda, and beyond. The deeds of Saint Ajora are known to all, and yet I would seek to learn more of his remarkable journey. Saint Ajora's birth came some 1200 years ago, in the midst of a golden age of technology, when airships yet plied the skies. He was born in Lasalia, in the city of Brevenia. Moments after his birth, he rose to his feet and approached a well. Upon reaching its base, words of prophecy poured forth from the infant lips. A calamity shall soon befall this well. Seal it up at once, that none may drink of it. Some days later, a plague descended on the town of Brevenia, and all those who drank from the well succumbed to the contagion and perished. Only those families who heeded the prophetic words of Saint Ajora were spared from malady and death. After the incident with the well, the people came to revere Saint Ajora as a portent of miracle and child of the gods. Then, at the age of 20, his life was cut short. The circumstances surrounding his death are closely tied to the legend of the Zodiac Braves, told throughout Ivalice since ancient times. To trace the story of these fabled warriors, I must delve yet further into the past. Ivalice was not always united as it is today. Long ago, the realm was divided into 7 domains: Favaham, Lionel, Limbury, Lasalia, Galleon, Zeltenia, and Maland. Each warred with the other in a never-ending struggle to expand its own territory. It was the age of feudalism. This conflict had continued for centuries until an ambitious young king rose to power in Maland. This young monarch dreamt of uniting all of Ivalice under his hand, but the road to victory was a difficult and dangerous one. The king turned to ancient tomes and the dark magics found within, summoning a demon from the netherworld to do his bidding. But once unleashed, the demon slew the king and set out to destroy the very world itself. To combat this monstrosity, a great hero set out on a quest. Together with his 12 comrades, he collected the zodiac stones that had been scattered throughout the world, and thereby formed the Zodiac Braves. These warriors defeated the demon and its minions, and banished the creature back to its infernal plane. Their deeds can be told as the legend of the Zodiac Braves. The Zodiac Braves have since appeared whenever the world balanced on the brink of catastrophe, only to vanish just as quickly once the crisis has been averted. Similar catastrophe threatened the world in the time of Saint Ajora. The Liege Lord of Limbury summoned a demon in hopes of seizing control of all of Ivalice, and once again plunged the world into chaos. And just as in the legend, Saint Ajora collected the 12 Zodiac Stones. Once again, the Zodiac Braves rose to defeat the marauding demon. Thus was Saint Ajora hailed as the world's savior. Water break. However, the sovereigns of any age have small tolerance for interference of well-meaning heroes. Saint Ajora's fame drew the ire of the Holy Adoran Empire, which dispatched soldiers to capture him and his devoted followers. Pharaohism was the prevalent religion in that day, and its priests feared Ajora's growing influence. Ultimately, Germanique, the 13th disciple, was tempted by sordid coin, offering vital information that led to his master's capture. The saint was executed upon the gallows of Golgotha soon thereafter. But lest we forget, Saint Ajora was a child of the gods. The wrath of the heavens was swift and terrible. Immediately following the execution, Milan, the center of Ferris teachings, was visited by a terrible cataclysm. The skies rained blood, and a storm of golden lightning ravaged the city. The very earth trembled, and within a thunderous roar, Milan sank into the sea. This was a legend with which I was familiar, the very same tale told to every child of Ivalice. But the Saint Ajora described within the scriptures of Germanique was a different man altogether. Ajora was no child of the gods. He was a mere mortal, no more divine than you or I. He was a revolutionary who fought to realize his own ambitions. He was no lover of peace, no hero who would sacrifice himself for the good of humanity. Germanique wrote of him, as the founder of a new religion with a rising number of followers, Ajora was seen as no more than a nuisance to the empire. But to the slaves and the destitute, who suffered most under imperial rule, the fair treatment and equal opportunities espoused by Ajora appeared as a ray of hope, and he is their savior. But Ajora was apparently more than just a religious founder. He was a saboteur who infiltrated enemy states to collect information and sow disorder. Ajora was a spy, dispatched to the Holy Adoran Empire by a rival state. His teachings, the faith they inspired, and the influence he wielded were but contrivances to enact the downfall of the empire, orchestrated from within its borders by Ajora himself. But for all his guile, the Imperials were fully aware of the threat that Ajora posed. Germanique was employed to collect evidence that would allow the Empire to arrest Ajora as a spy. The 13th disciple was in reality no more than the Empire's instrument in a play to uncover Ajora's true intentions. It seems that Ajora indeed attempted to form the Zodiac Braves. Germanique confirmed in his writings that Ajora even discovered some of the stones, and he had entrusted them to his closest disciples. But what was his purpose in forming the Zodiac Braves anew? I do not know if the Liege Lord of Limbury actually summoned a demon. Elder Simon's notes speak of his doubts on the matter, and not a single line within the scriptures seems to record the event. Nevertheless, it appears the catastrophe in which the greater part of Milan sank into the sea did indeed coincide with Ajora's execution. The footnotes provided further enlightenment. They expressed a different view, no doubt the personal opinion of Elder Simon. Although many spoke of their existence, none had ever set eyes upon these scriptures of Germanique. Some might say they are fraudulent, written with the sole purpose of discrediting Saint Ajora, but I know this tome to be authentic. When I served as an inquisitor for the church, those in its upper echelons feared the existence of this work, and the same is no doubt true for the High Confessor. They were all fearful of these writings, for everything contained within them is fact. After Saint Sejora's death, the church, which had capitalized on his considerable influence to seize power for itself, had only one task: to conceal his true nature as a human being. This one fact had to be erased from the annals of history. They needed to ensure that Saint Sejora be remembered as a child of the gods. Their use of the Zodiac Braves, a legend believed throughout the continent, was a stroke of genius. It was a simple feat to convince the people that Saint Sejora had led the Zodiac Braves to defeat a demon that never existed. I realize now that I had lost my faith the moment I began to read these scriptures, and yet I feel no sorrow. Thinking back, I know now that my desire to know the truth was stronger than my faith had ever been. But above all, I am as guilty as any involved in this great tragedy. All these years, the church has concealed the truth and lied to our flock. Though I am compelled to condemn these acts, I cannot bring myself to do so. Even were I to bring the scriptures before the people, the church would not stand idle. In all likelihood, I would be accused of heresy and burned at the stake. But that is not the true reason for my inaction. This library is everything to me. It is a treasure beyond compare, the only means of slaking my endless thirst for knowledge. If I were to share this book with the world, my precious library would be taken from me. I cannot allow it. To be separated from my tomes, I can think of no pain greater. In the end, my curiosity eclipsed my will to do what was right. Within these pages lies the truth hidden by the church for so many years. The miracles of Saint Sejora were naught but lies, and he but an ordinary man. By interweaving the events surrounding Ajora's death with his mendacious teachings, his followers fabricated a means by which to seize power. But is that truly all there is to know? Elder Simon wrote that Saint Ajora's demon never existed, but I have seen the dark power of the Zodiac Stones with my own eyes. There is an evil presence at work, something much more sinister than even the High Confessor and his twisted plots. Alright, we read the scriptures of Germanique.
Discoveries awaiting even the most dog-eared of tomes.
They truly do. I think the next episode is just, or not next episode, I think this going into Dorder is just a cutscene, so we're gonna watch the cutscene. And then I gotta go to bed because it's like past midnight now and I'm so tired. It's 12:15 and I gotta get up at 6:30. So bear with me for this one last time to do a shorter episode. It might not be the last time, but for this week, because then I can record over the weekend. Yes! Alright, awesome. It's a cutscene. Let's do it.
You are the heretic Ramza Beowulf, yes?
Who are you? You do not appear to be of the Template.
You will come to Riovani's castle. Your sister will be returned in exchange for the scriptures of Germanique.
Riovanis? What does Grand Duke Barrington have to do with this? I had heard he keeps both Dukes Larg and Goltanna at arm's length, and fields no troops in their conflict. Why would Alma be in his custody? What interest does he have in the book?
Surely you have read the scriptures.
Yeah, I've read them. This is exactly why I wanted to read them now, because I can say this.
Yes, I've read them. Could it be the Grand Duke is in league with the Church? If so, having its secrets exposed will be problematic for him, too.
You are in no position to make threats. If you wish to see your sister again, you will come to the castle and do nothing extraneous. My lord awaits.
So here you are. They've been searching high and low for you. What is it? Are you unwell? Ah, but I forget myself. I hope this day finds your royal majesty in better spirits than those past.
Do not mock me. Please, I could not bear it.
That was cruel of me. I'm sorry.
So, what is it that you mean to do with me? I'm not Avalia. There can be no possible value in holding me. No value, even in my living.
Possibly. You are not Avelia. We do not even know your rightful name. Whether even you be highborn or low. No such records remain.
My life until now. What was it all for? Raised to think myself Avelia. I never once suspected that I was merely a replacement for the real princess of the royal family. I alone was confined to a remote monastery, far from the seat of our crown. I alone was made to live in seclusion, and had often wondered why. Even so, this I thought a burden light enough. If it meant the kingdom would know peace. Yet still Ivalice runs red with blood. All this suffering and solitude. What purpose did it serve? How ironic it is. Now that I am free of the monastery, I find myself longing for it. Though I may have been a bird in a cage, at least the song I sang was my own.
It has been the same for me. I was given the wardrobe of a nobleman, and so I played the part. A puppet, ever dancing for patrons unseen. Most men but play the part they're given. Most live and die not knowing they play a part at all. But I am past all that now. I am their puppet no more. I will exact from them the price of the merry dance they lead.
And just what is it you plan to do?
You must place your trust in me, Avelia. I will burn down this kingdom and build a new one. A kingdom worthy of you. I will show you a world where your light will outshine the sun. A world without darkness. A world where you will always be Avelia. This is my heart's desire. For you are my purpose. My everything. You will have no more need of tears.
Can I truly trust in you?
I will never betray you. Never. On Titra's soul, I swear it. So come now. Dry your tears.
All right. Well, that's an interesting scene with Delita. You can take that as you will. In fact, you're going to take it as you will a second time, because that is an animated scene. We're going to watch it, and that'll be the last thing we do in this episode. And we got quite a journey ahead of us over to Ivalice Castle. But it's going to be a fun time, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, let's go back into the Chronicle. This time we're going to go into events, and we're going to watch that animated scene.
Learn more of
We haven't had one in quite a while now I think about it. Let's view it.
So here you are. They've been searching high and low for you. Huh. I hope this day finds your royal majesty in better spirits than those past.
Do not mock me. Please, I could not bear it.
That was cruel of me. I'm sorry.
So, what is it that you mean to do with me? I'm not Avalia. There can be no possible value in holding me. No value, even in my living.
Possibly. You are not Avelia. We do not even know your rightful name, whether even you be highborn or low.
Of the royal family, I alone was confined to a remote monastery, far from the seat of our crown. I alone was made to live in seclusion, and I had often wondered why. Even so, if my forbearance meant that the kingdom would continue to know peace, I thought it a burden light enough. What was it all for? Still, Ivalice runs red with blood. All this suffering and solitude, what purpose did any of it serve?
It has been the same for me. I was given the wardrobe of a nobleman, and so I played the part. A puppet, ever dancing for patrons unseen. Endeavor is not rewarded. Not in this wretched world. It is the patron and his troupe who are the beneficiaries, maggots grown fat on Endeavor's course. An ugly truth, but the truth nonetheless. Most men have no choice but to play the part they are given. And of those, most live and die not knowing they play a part at all. But I am past all that now. I am their puppet no more. I will exact from them the price of their gluttonous feast.
And just what is it you plan to do?
You must place your trust in me, Avelia. I will burn down this kingdom and build a new one. A kingdom worthy of you. I will show you a world where your light will outshine the sun. A world without darkness. And then, you will have no more need of tears.
Can I truly trust in you?
Know that I will never betray you. On Teatra's soul, I swear it. So come now. Dry your tears.
All right, well, that's the scene. That load time's a bit long.
Let us
Just
trace the
going in now.
journeys
Yeah, you
by
can tell
all
Delita kind of views himself as a Zodiac Brave. You know, that's the best way I can put it. Which is ironic because he's done so much shitty stuff. Okay, I'm gonna save their game here. Maybe on we did 11, so we'll go to 12 this time, and then we'll loop back down to save date on 9 next time. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know this is a bit of a weirder episode. It ended up being like normal length, like 20-ish minutes. So, yeah, I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, and we'll move on with the plot. I might do some leveling over the weekend too. We'll see. Just to get more. I want to get more people up to speed. I want to get Shirodori and Rams up. But anyway, take care, guys. I'm a tired boy. I gotta sleep. Later.